The Old Pond by Matsuo Bashō. An old, silent pond. A frog jumps into the pond. Splash. Silence again. Picture an old, silent pond. The water is still, untouched. In our daily lives, we too find moments of quiet, perhaps in the early morning before the world wakes up, or in those rare seconds when we step away from the chaos of emails, notifications, and to-do lists. Stillness isn't emptiness, it's full of potential. It's the space where we reflect, breathe, and reconnect with ourselves. In a world that constantly demands motion, taking a pause is a radical act. It's in those moments of stillness that we hear our own thoughts more clearly, that we reconnect with what truly matters. And then, a frog jumps in, a sudden disruption. The water, once undisturbed, ripples outward. How often do we experience moments like this? A phone call with unexpected news, a decision that changes our path, or an idea that suddenly sparks a new direction. A job offer we weren't expecting, a relationship that ends or begins. A health challenge that forces us to rethink our priorities. Change enters our lives the same way. Sometimes it's small, a shift in routine, a new perspective, a fresh way of looking at something we've taken for granted. Other times, it's big, shaking us completely, forcing us into uncharted waters. And yet, in this moment of disruption, there is something beautiful happening. The silence before the splash prepares us. It is where we gather our energy, our strength. The silence afterward allows us to absorb and grow from the experience. What's truly remarkable about this haiku is that the pond doesn't resist the frog. It doesn't fight the ripples or try to stop the splash from happening. It simply receives the movement, embraces the change, and then returns to stillness. How often do we resist change in our own lives? We fear the ripples, the disturbances, the things we didn't see coming. We cling to stability, sometimes so tightly that we forget that movement is a natural part of life. But what if, like the pond, we could accept these moments with grace? What if we could trust that after every splash, every challenge, every unexpected shift, there is a return to calm? Because that's the rhythm of life. Stillness, movement, stillness again. We are not meant to be in constant turmoil, nor are we meant to be completely motionless. There is a flow to things, a natural ebb and return. Today, I invite you to take a moment to notice the stillness in your life. Not just the silence around you, but the inner stillness, the place where you feel at peace, where you feel centered. And when the inevitable splash comes, big or small, welcome it. Trust that the ripples won't last forever. Trust that after every moment of movement, there is always a chance to return to peace. Before we end today, here's a question to carry with you. What splash in your life are you currently resisting? And what would happen if, just for today, you let it be? Thank you very much for listening. If this spoke to you, share it with a friend. Take a quiet moment to journal about your own old pond moments, and let me know what resonated with you. Until next time, embrace the stillness, welcome the splash, and trust the silence that follows.